Costume is such a huge part of the show and the time. Lauren Miller, our wonderful designers, brought in a lot more of a pastel kind of palette and brighter colours for this season. As Tom Parker's vision of the town is starting to come to life, he's built up the promenade, everything's elevated, and the costumes reflect that.
Everyone's stories kind of changed and adapted and moved on, so it's about taking those characters kind of as we know them and developing them, maturing them in some instances, and then really working on kind of the new characters and developing their style. I really enjoyed making Charlotte into the governess because it was just moving her slightly away from the kind of sweet, innocent Charlotte of season 1 and making her into this kind of grown-up lady who's working as a governess. And so she has like a blue sort of checked pinafore that I just thought was really sweet, and she wears it with a little shirt, and I thought that was just a really nice kind of move along of like, this is Charlotte today.
Lauren's really played with bold colouring and prints and mixing things up. So you have like the same traditional like Regency cuts to things, but there's a lot of playing with like textures on the fabric and yellow and red on the soldiers' jackets, and everything like pops a lot on screen.
I come in the morning, 5 AM, and I look a mess, and then like you come out of the magical work of the hair and makeup department and costume, and I'm in my like corset, so already like my posture is affected, and I've got petticoats and stockings and gowns, so just that affects how you are.
Up until the Regency era, everything was quite low down. It was all about like accentuating the waist, and it was really confining for women, really painful as well. And then during this period, 1820s onwards, they started rising, and it was almost like this slight rebellion in women's fashion that was like, no, we don't want to wear these really restraining, like tight whalebone corsets. We want to lift everything up and we want to be comfortable. I love that because that was like this like uprising in fashion. It was great.
Say what?
I've loved every outfit that I've worn. I think the guys get an easier ride. It's not too restricting, and they're always quite strong as a look. You feel when you walk into a room, especially with the boots and the collars and the ruffles, there's a vibe. It's always a vibe.
Esther, Lady Babington now, has got a bit more money this time, so she can afford a bit more. So she's got, you know, bigger jewels, and her colour palette is great. I have one particular coat. It's like a deep purple with a leather collar. It's just like quite sassy, really.
Charles Lockhart was a really interesting character. When I first read the character, I was like, it'd be really fun to play up someone that doesn't necessarily follow the rules all the time. We first see him on the beach, he's wearing a sarong, and it was really fun to play with those elements that you don't normally see in a Regency period drama.
The detail and the actual vibrancy of the costumes just immediately drop you in that period. They instantly change the way you move, which is kind of everything to an actor.